literally don't know where to begin. Back in November, I uploaded a vlog called When Everything Goes Wrong and talked about a load of bombshells. I have had 2 of the worst weeks I can remember. I honestly can't remember 2 weeks back to back when so many things went wrong and bombshells went off. Looking back a couple of months later, I wasn't exaggerating. It was a terrible couple of weeks, and in this video, I'm going to reveal what all of those bombshells were and still are. For Christmas, I got some bamboo boxer shorts. Oh, they're actually very comfy. When everything goes wrong and keeps going wrong and keeps going wrong more, do you give up? When do you give up? Or don't you give up? Do you just keep going until you reach total failure? That's the question. I've been sat at my desk solidly for the last 4 days and it's doing my head in. So today I'm going to get the old Mercedes out, because it hasn't been out for weeks because of the weather, the salt on the road and stuff, but it's a bit dry today, it's a bit grey and miserable. And I'm going to drive up to the airfield to see how the plane Dusty is coming along with his annual, which I'm hoping is nearing completion.
Daddy!
Chess pieces: king, queen, bishop, knight, rook, pawn. Well done.
Where am I gonna put?
Hang on, the cats aren't fighting. That's really weird.
What?
They're normally always fighting. Every time I get in this old 80s car, it reminds me why cup holders were such a revelation when they first started appearing in cars in the 90s. Hasn't started for quite a few weeks and it's been really cold, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. Ha ha ha! And that is why I love this car. German engineering, Mercedes-Benz from the 1980s. I'm really hoping I don't have to sell this, but it's one of the things that I think might be a casualty of my current predicament. Everyone's heard that you never give up. If you ever want to actually achieve anything really worthwhile, you never give up. Because if you ever accept giving up as an option, well, you've already failed. You're automatically going to fail because you're going to give up. And by definition, you can't achieve whatever it was you're trying to achieve if you give up. But if giving up's not an option and things just get harder and harder and harder, what do? It took me 2 full months off work last year to recover fully from the burnout I was suffering. Now, burnout is not what I'm suffering this time around. I'll start by just sharing bombshell number 1, and this is in no particular order. Bombshell number 1 was when one of the key people in my team, who's been in the team for 6 or 7 years, and he is a crucial, critical part of the team, was suffering from his own severe personal problems, and he resigned. Out of the blue, he resigned. That was a horrific bombshell, and he's such a critical part of the team, and it's a small team, so when a major person leaves a small team, it can be fatal. That's bombshell number 1, right?
So, my dad's a big fan of yours.
Yeah?
But yeah, I'll shout him out here. Dave Morris.
Brilliant.
Loves your videos, always been watching them and stuff, but at the moment we're just going through like the work pack, so it's mainly all the like engine servicing, sort of stripped down all the airframe. You see here all the panels are off, so this is for all the general inspections.
Yeah.
So that's inspecting stuff like all the control cables, all the flat panels and stuff come off as well.
Yeah, okay.
So it's quite interesting if you come inside here as well. All the interiors come out.
Yeah.
So it looks a bit different, doesn't it?
But it's really reassuring to know that's what, that it's being
yeah,
pulled apart properly.
Yeah.
Everything checked properly.
Yeah. All the floor panels come up, so you got all the main control cables coming underneath the floor. So that's all looked at. There's quite a few ADs as well, which required all the carpet and stuff to come up to look underneath.
Right, okay.
But yeah, it's good progress so far. It's going well. The seat rails are good as well. That's an AD, which is quite costly, but they're actually within limits.
Good.
The diameter of these holes they can open up too much.
Oh, I see. That's what's checked, is it?
So you can see here, they're starting to go a little bit, but they're within limits.
Right, okay.
Which is good.
Yeah,
Because I have to do quite a few changes on these, and I think they're about $400 odd a rail.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
think more than that, in fact, so... Yeah, it's quite a
I'm
good
glad
thing.
they passed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be gentle with them as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
all the panels down here come out.
Yeah, but having the overhaul prop was really good. It was a real, yeah, it just went through okay. I get so many questions about the canards, so it's really interesting to have the cowling off. You can see the frame. This is the canard. This is the frame. It's mounted on here. The next bombshell that happened back in that middle of November video was that my former landlord's bank began court proceedings to evict us from the house we're living in Devon, where we've lived for 10 years. And although it wasn't entirely unexpected, it was still a bombshell when it finally began, and the shockwave from that was amplified by one of the other bombshells I'll come on to in a minute. That's amazing.
Yeah, so I passed my skills test. last Monday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good feeling. And as you said, the weather's been so bad recently that it's just nice to finally get it done.
That's fantastic news.
Yeah.
Your dad must be proud as well.
Yeah, he's I think he's a bit jealous. Sorry, Dad. But
I bought this plane just over 2 years ago, and it was one of the biggest dreams come true in my life. And I've been really making the most of it, as hopefully you can tell from a lot of my videos, and I love this plane. It is just not just for myself as a pilot, but for the family and the trips we've been able to do as a family, and the adventures and the other adventures we've got planned coming up in 2022, flying to Ireland to see Anne-Marie's family, flying to Portugal to see some of my family, some big trips planned, lots of really exciting family stuff planned. But one of the consequences of all these bombshells is that it's looking like I am not going to be able to keep this plane, at least not on the basis I've got it now. So at the moment, I own it outright. It's mine, free and clear. But I'm either going to have to sell it, which is my least favourite option, or I'm going to have to sell a share in it, which would be much better than having to sell it together. If I could find someone that would be happy to come and maybe sell a 1/3 share in the plane, so I've got 2/3 and someone else have a 1/3 share, or maybe go to a finance company and see if I can do a sort of sale and lease back, or take a loan out against the plane. Basically, it's looking like one of those three things is going to have to happen. But actually selling this plane outright is the last thing I want to do, because I will never find another 182 like this in Europe. I still don't want to sell this 182 because it's just unique and magical and special, and now has family history. It was nice to come and see how the plane's getting on. Back to the car. This car is my favourite machine of all time. So the plane obviously is in a league of its own, right? And that's cool, that's lovely, but I love this Mercedes. I'm probably going to have to sell it, and it breaks my heart even saying that out loud. I never, ever want to sell this car. The S-Class Mercedes of the 1980s were, in my opinion, the pinnacle of the internal combustion engine era. But thanks to the bombshells, this car might be another casualty of those bombshells going off. 33 years old, and the air conditioning and demist and climate control this car has still works perfectly. Next bombshell is an aviation related bombshell. You're going to enjoy this one if you're a pilot. So the same week as my essential team member resigned, and as I got the court papers saying that I'm going to be evicted from my house, and as a couple of other bombshells, this one arrived, which was an email from the CAA telling me that I had done my third airspace infringement. It's not a funny, laughing matter. The airspace infringement itself isn't funny at all. And I'm going to do a separate video all about that because that's yet to fully play out. I'll talk to you about how the airspace infringement happened and what the CA's response has been, what they've asked me to do, which I'm still waiting to do. Need the plane to be out of its annual for that. So that was a big bombshell. Okay. In this scheme of the other ones, perhaps a bit smaller, but still, in my aviation life, big bombshell. And an expensive one, as it turns out. Anne-Marie makes, whenever we buy too many bananas and they start to go brown, they're no longer that nice to eat, she uses them to make banana bread muffin. They're so good. Then came bombshell number 4. I don't even know if they were in this order, but they were all so close together it doesn't matter. Bombshell number 4 was I received a court summons for a speeding offence, which will almost certainly result in me losing my driving licence for 6 months, which only matters because of how much it impacts my ability to do my job. At the time of the alleged speeding offence, and I say alleged because I'm defending it, I had 15 points on my driving licence. And that's not a badge of honour, I'm not proud of it. It's when you do very high mileage, and that bloody Tesla is so fucking fast. Like insanely fast, like faster than my RS6. And it's just an ordinary Tesla. It was so quiet on this road when I set the camera up. Decided to go down to the beach at Sidmouth because the sun's come out, and I always find the beach a place that's really good to clear your head. One of the things I love most about living in Devon is that when it's not holidays, it's so quiet here. So quiet. You can come down to the beach, and there's hardly anyone here, and it's like this every day. A bit busier at the weekends, it's a Thursday today. Having this on your doorstep all the time is amazing. The thing is that before all these bombshells went off, and I haven't even got to the last one yet, I was already struggling with overwhelm, struggling with burnout. So why? There are low-income people, let me define that. People who only earn just enough to cover their rent and bills, and they have got zero disposable money left over, whose lives are avoidably worsened permanently because of the way the moving process operates and all of what I call the parasitic side industries that feed off the moving process. I want to change that. I suppose in a nutshell, it's my life's work. It's my life's work. It's my way of showing my kids how hard you should try to make a difference. It's a way of setting an example of never giving up. And one of the things I have had to do after 20 years of working in the property and technology sector is come to the realization that I can't find an investor that isn't too short-sighted. When you're doing something that's never been done before, there isn't a manual, there isn't a how to do that manual or book for you to read. So the answer is, I don't know how. At this stage, I feel like I'm 25 miles into a 26-mile marathon, and that last mile is going to be the hardest. And what happened is, that was the marathon I was running before the bombshells came along. And it feels like on the last mile of this 26-mile marathon, I've suddenly got cramp. I've suddenly become dehydrated. And actually, when it comes to Best Agent, I think we've done the hardest part. I've got the plane, I've got the Mercedes, I've got the Touareg, I've got some shares, I've got a little bit of cash in the bank, and this is my fallback. If I have to sell a plane to get Best Agent over the finishing line of this marathon, that's okay. That was always the deal that I had when I bought it, because I bought it with funds that were put aside to get me through a tough time in business. I just need as many people as possible to know about Best Agent and know that if they want to sell their house, that they should use Best Agent to find their agent. We've already got, Best Agent is already helping some people find their agent. Dirty car. It's gonna need a clean. The colour of that sky. Isn't it amazing? So Amory and the kids should be coming around this corner by that car any minute now. There they are. So this might be one of the last times this car appears in the vlog. The state of it. So the kids are here for their weekly gym. In fact, this is Archie's first day at gym. Go on, hey, have fun in your first gym lesson, Archie.
Bye.
See you afterwards. Might need a new battery in Touareg. Even old Sylvester's battery does better than that. So there's a bonus bombshell, by the way, and it's a bonus one because I wasn't going to include it, but because I can't talk about it, because it's ongoing, and it's nasty, and it's separate from everything else I've talked about, and it's legal, and it's court, and it's expensive. So there was that bombshell that again started all in the same week or two in November. But the final, probably the biggest bombshell of all that happened that week, was finding out that Anne-Marie's pregnant with our third baby. And the smile on my face was my reaction at the time. It was like, nothing else matters. That is amazing news. And I am so excited for when it gets to 3 years old. Okay, any parents out there with an eldest child under 3, you've got such amazing times to look forward to, okay? Such amazing times to look forward to. And if you're enjoying them at 1 and 2, that's fantastic, but it just gets so much more fun and so much easier and so much better. I am not looking forward to the sleepless nights, the exhaustion, because, this is, on top of everything else, this bombshell is going to last. I mean, it's going to impact sleep. It's going to impact Anne-Marie. It's going to impact finances. There's so many things, but it doesn't matter because the sheer joy of having another kid with Anne-Marie kind of makes everything else pale into insignificance. Anne-Marie and I still trying to figure out why babies keep happening. But other than that, everything else I brought on myself. I choose to continue the struggle, but the struggle is real. Now, what makes it and what gives me the superpower that it needs to keep going is my rock solid, happy, healthy family, which is more important than everything and anything else put together. And those 2 kids, as I'm sure everyone who's seen any of these videos knows, are just the biggest rays of sunshine in my life. They are, and they're continuing to get brighter and brighter as they get older and more fun. The thing that keeps me going is knowing that failing doesn't matter. I can fail with dignity because I can say I never gave up and I gave it 100%, not 99, 100% of everything I got, and it didn't work. But I am proud of the effort and I enjoyed the ride, and I will be okay. As long as my family's okay, I'll be okay. So that's what keeps me going. I suspect this is going to be a longish episode. If you have seen it all the way to this point, all the way to the end, thank you. You've just watched the first ever weekly, roughly weekly, right? I'm not pinning myself to that, but I aim to put one of these videos out every Friday. So I've got some interesting mail this morning. in a really cool
From
envelope.
me.
Ticket to Mambo Cabana. I don't know what that is, but it sounds a lot of fun. So what's the show called?
Runaway baby. Yeah.
Runaway Baby.